Hey friends, welcome back. If you joined me for last week's episode, you know that we took a deep dive into reflecting on the past year, celebrating your wins, learning from challenges, and looking at the areas that were distracting you. Today, I'm so excited to bring you part two of this special series. It's all about year-end planning for entrepreneurs, and we're going to take everything we learned from reflecting and turn it into a plan to set yourself up for an incredible year ahead. This episode is about visioning, goal setting, and planning, taking your reflections and turning them into intentional actions. It's time to create a vision for where you want to go, break it down into practical steps that will make your dreams a reality. So if you haven't already listened to part one, I encourage you to pause this, go back and take the time for reflection, because today is about using that insight to take action. So grab your journal, your favorite cozy drink, and let's get ready to map out your best year yet. Before we dive into visioning and planning, I want to take a minute to acknowledge something that comes up a lot when it comes to planning: resistance. Some people are natural planners and they love the process of mapping things out. But for others, planning itself can feel like an overwhelming task that's easier to avoid. It can be daunting. It requires your time, your focus, and your attention. And sometimes it feels simpler to just fly by the seat of your pants. So if you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. I get it. Sometimes planning feels like too much, especially when you're juggling everything else life throws at us. But I'm here to tell you that a little bit of planning can go a long way in creating the focus you need to feel less overwhelmed in your business. My specialty, of course, is helping people become consistent content creators by repurposing content and setting up systems that work. But this comes from my background as a certified online business manager, and I'm setting time, and I've seen it time and time again how powerful it is when we take a bit of time to get intentional with where we're headed. And let's begin to talk about visioning, a word that gets thrown around a lot, but it's so important. And when I say visioning, I'm talking about getting crystal clear on what you want your next year, your next 3 years to look like. This is letting yourself dream big without the limits of the how. It's about tapping into your deepest desire for your life and your business. I want you to take a moment right now and picture it. Where do you want to be a year from now? What kind of business do you want to be running? Who are you serving? How are you spending your time? What does balance look like for you, both you in your personal life as well as in your business and your work? For me, when I do this visioning exercise, I'd like to take it even further. Not just what I want to achieve, but how I want to feel. I want you to get specific here. How do you want to feel when you sit down to work every day? How do you want to feel about the impact you're making with your clients? How do you want your day-to-day life to feel? Energetic, calm, purposeful. What's that feeling that you desire? Once you've got that vision in your mind, I want you to write it down. Describe it in detail. Put it on paper so it's no longer just a daydream for you, but something you can look at, touch, and use as a guide. All right, now you've got a clear vision of what you want the next year to look like and feel like. It's time to set some goals to bring that vision to life. And you're going to do this by focusing on the SMART goals. Goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I know you've probably heard this before. A couple things I want to mention about the SMART goals because they're a little bit different in NLP. And with NLP, like your S means they can be specific, you want them to be simple, and you can actually see yourself achieving them. The M can be measurable, but it also needs to be meaningful to you. The A, you want it to be as if now. You know that now you're able to do it. Achievable, and it's also attainable. So, and you're also able to assign it to who will actually do the work. So whether that's you or you're going to have somebody helping you in your business and all areas in your life. Like you can see this impacting all areas of your life. So if you ever think about the wheel of life, that's how you want to look at some of these SMART goals that you're setting for yourself as well. And of course, actionable is also that we can look at. as well. So being able to be assignable and realistic. And when we say realistic, but you also need to feel like you are responsible. You feel like it's a responsible thing for you to be able to do, and it feels in alignment with you and with your life and in your business. And then again, the T, which is timed or towards what you want, or time bound. So we can actually set that goal in the future, but you're looking at it because you're moving towards that in the future where you want it to be. So I hope that helps a little bit with creating those achievable outcomes or those SMART goals, because sometimes they can be a little bit hard to think through all of those things. But I want you to think about what you want more of in your business and your personal life. Maybe you want more time freedom, or you want to work with a certain number of clients each month. Or maybe you're looking to launch that new group program that's been on your heart. I know I carry things around on my heart for so long before I actually put it out into the world sometimes. But whatever it is, write it down and let's make it specific. So for example, instead of saying, I want more clients, make it SMART. I will enroll 3 new coaching clients each quarter. So instead of I want to launch a new course, make it I will launch a new 8-week group coaching program in May. When you make your goal specific and measurable, you give yourself a clear target to aim for. Let's take those goals and break them down into quarterly projects. I know I mentioned this in part 1, but it bears repeating. The key to avoiding overwhelm is focus. If you have 3 big projects you want to accomplish over the year, let's assign 1 to each quarter. If you have a bigger project like a course launch or a website rebrand, give it a full quarter to really bring it to life without spreading yourself too thin. So for each project, you want to start with a mind map. Take a blank page and write that project in the middle of the center of that page and start branching off with all the different tasks that you need to complete. For example, if your goal is to launch a new course, you might branch out into create course content, build landing pages, set up email funnel, and so on. Like from there, break those tasks down even farther into small actionable steps. Like think 10-minute steps, things that you can do in 10 minutes to be able to get that done. Because if you struggle with procrastination and things feel overwhelming to you, when you just know that it's only going to take you 10 minutes, like I only needed to devote 10 minutes today to my goal, sometimes that can be helpful in helping to actually reach it. And the idea here is to create that roadmap that makes that big picture, again, feel manageable and clear. And don't forget, not every task needs to be done by you. Delegate where you can and stay in your zone of genius when you're working on these projects. And once you've mapped out your projects, it's time to get them scheduled. I really recommend starting by blocking off time for yourself first before you do anything else. So your vacation days, the holidays, days out of the office that you're not going to be there. If you want to start working just 4 days a week, then make sure you're figuring out how to be able to do all your work in the amount of time that you have. Like really do a time audit on how much time you have in your day to devote to your work. Figure out those time blocks that you need to have, because you could be over planning and over scheduling and you're doing it without really having a good knowledge of what your time bank is. The reason we start with like these things like vacation, holidays, days off, we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and making time for the things that matter the most outside of your business. Then you want to plan your projects around those meaningful dates. Also, grab your kids' calendar for school so that you're marking those days that they're going to be home with you and not at school. That is key also for your actual calendar. And I want you to put those tasks in your calendar, your project management system, Google Calendar. I love using tools like Asana. Notion is also a fan favorite for me. But if you prefer a simple paper planner or bullet journal, that works well. I love my Laurel Denise planner, and also the planner that I use as well. Planner is from Horatio Printing, the Dream Planner. So that's another option for you as well. This is perfect as well for bullet journal because they work great. But the key is to give each task a deadline and create a visual representation of what's ahead so you know where to focus your energy. That way you're not having to make that decision every single day when you sit down at your desk. What am I going to work on today? What do I need to accomplish? You already know because you've laid out those big rocks or those big things that you want to accomplish in your business right now when we're doing our yearly planning. And one last thing I want to leave you with before we wrap up today is commitment. Setting goals and making a plan is only part of the process, friend. The real magic happens when you commit to taking consistent action. I want you to ask yourself, are you fully committed to achieving this goal? If the answer is yes, then great. If it's not, it's time to adjust that goal into something that you're ready to go all in on. Because if you're not 100% committed, like when we talked about those 10-minute tasks, if you're like, no, you're not willing to do this in 10 minutes a day. If you're not willing to set aside 10 minutes to an hour every single day on reaching your goals, is that really truly meaningful to you? And that's part of your SMART goal, like your M. Is that goal meaningful to you? Because if it's meaningful to you, you're willing to commit the time, energy, and focus to making it happen. Remember, just like with your reflection process, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress and showing up and moving forward even when it's hard. I know, friend, you've got this completely. I do go into more detail on my blog post into these things, or feel free to download the free resource with the planning guide. I'll put the link down below in the show notes. It walks you through the whole entire thing, and then you can just print that off every single quarter and just repeat the process. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me. I know how valuable our time is. It's non-renewable. So as you are setting up your vision and plan for the year ahead, you've already taken such an important step by showing up and doing this work. So don't let it fade. Now's the time to take that time to map out and put it into action. And friend, if you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a fellow coach or entrepreneur who could use this little extra encouragement in their planning process. And if you're ready to dive deeper, I do offer a 90-minute one-on-one SMART goal planning session along with a week of Voxer support to help you turn your vision into a clear, actionable plan. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep moving forward, and remember you are capable of creating an amazing year ahead. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you make it a wonderful week. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.